Hello, everyone. Serena Curran here. So happy to be with you today. This is a topic that's been on my mind for some time, and it's about creating the future and some of the influences that can be positive or negative depending on how they play out. But in particular, the influence of gurus who talk about what the future is going to be like, psychic readings that you might receive, and your own power to create. If you haven't yet, subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications, because I'll be doing these kinds of videos regularly. And so let us begin. Now, our future is not predetermined. There are an infinite number of possibilities. And by our own energy and the choices that we make, we can create a completely new future, but it requires us claiming our power. And in fact, we're in this disruption, which is an opportunity for us to make a leap and really change how we do everything. And so I've often seen gurus, and they have very big followings. I call them gurus, let's say, but people who have very big followings who spend a lot of time telling people what the future is going to look like. I saw someone the other day saying she was going to tell people what it looked like in 10 years or 100 years. And I realized that people can go and read the energy, but when they do that, they are reading probabilities. And so I started to question whether they were actually telling us what is energetically what's coming, or they were actually creating that future for us by telling so many people this is what it is, and then those people believe it, right? And so if they believe it, then that becomes our future. So there's the rub. Now, this is not to say that we can't read energies. Of course we can, but I'd much prefer someone say the energy today is supporting you in taking action or moving more quickly forward or something along those lines, as opposed to somebody saying, well, this is what's going to take place on this day. And there is quite a bit of that running around. So that's the issue. And let me be clear again about that. It's like people who are saying that they know what the future is and that they're telling people what our future looks like are actually helping to create that future. And that puts a limitation on us. So we get to say no to that. We get to say, that's interesting, but I'm not sure that's the future I want. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But right now, I also want to talk about psychic readings. And this has also been something that I feel creates problems for people. In that when someone does a psychic reading for you, they're actually reading the highest probability that's out there. Now, that doesn't mean it's the best probability or the best option for you. They're just reading the probability. So it's the one that's most likely to happen. And sometimes what happens with that is, well, a couple of things, but one of them is that people start to make decisions based on this image that's put in front of them. And so now they have limited their possibilities to that one probability. So that's a problem, in my opinion. And the other piece being that when you make a new choice, you can shift the probabilities. So you could have a reading today, you could go out an hour later and make a choice that now shifts the probabilities, and that reading is no longer valid. I think the best use of psychic readings is to help people understand what kinds of issues or interferences that they need to look at and to actually do healing work with. So for me, a psychic needs to be able to do healing work as well as just do a reading in order to be the most powerful and impactful for people that they're working with. So again, these two things, this idea that a guru would tell people how things are going to play out in a long-term image, and psychics telling people on a personal level how their life is going to unfold, creates a limitation on possibilities. And we never want to do that. We want to keep our possibilities open and stay curious to what else might be there that's possible for us. And then the last thing I want to talk about right now today is, take your own power. Let's create the world we want to see. let's each one of us decide that we'd like to see more compassion, more loving, more cooperation, more respect. There's just so many possibilities, and start to create that world ourselves, more diverse, more integration of diversity, more understanding of each other. And the way that we do this is in our personal lives on a daily basis, is making those choices that will create that future that we want to see. And of course, one of the vehicles that's really great for that is your business. This is a channel for you to be able to create this new world. And I'll have more to say about that in my next video, because that's a whole other topic. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. And so please leave a comment or reach out to me and let me know what your reaction is to this and what your own experiences are. I'd love to have a dialogue with you about it. And on that note, I'll just say, have a beautiful day.